Hi, I'm kchoi. Welcome to my channel. One of my favorite things about living in London and the UK was learning the different British English words that they use there. So there are tons of words and phrases that are different than what we use in America. Today I wanted to share 10 of the British English words and phrases that I actually adopted while I was living there, because there are a lot that I know of but I didn't end up using in my everyday speech. So today I thought I would share the ones that I did. Toilet. This is the one that I most quickly started using because in my experience, British people really find the words restroom and bathroom very funny and ridiculous, I guess, because to them you're not going there for a bath unless you actually are, and you're also not going there for a rest. So they're quite a literal people, I think. So I just adopted toilet really quickly because you just don't want to stick out sometimes. And that was just an easy one to switch over to using because it is literally going to the toilet, so that wasn't that weird for me. Can't be bothered or can't be asked. I really love this phrase because I find that there's no real equivalent in American English. I think the closest thing is just saying like I'm too lazy to do that or I don't feel like doing it, but can't be bothered just says it in such a more succinct way. I said can't be bothered more than can't be asked just because asked is kind of hard to say. But my British friend was telling me that although you can abbreviate can't be asked into CBA, you don't usually say CBB. But that could just be her and her friends. I don't know. Let me know if you ever abbreviate can't be bothered into CBB for text form. Meant to. This, I guess, is the equivalent of saying supposed to. So instead of saying what are we supposed to do, you would say what are we meant to do. And I think this one was kind of funny sounding to me, but I used it more in an ironic way because it sounds so much more dramatic to be like, what are we meant to do? So I liked that one. And also when you're texting, it's less letters, so it's just easier to say, and yeah, easier to say out loud as well. Cheers. I love that in British English, cheers translates to thanks. It obviously is still also like cheers for drinks, but in American English we only say cheers when we're doing drinks. I tried to adopt the word cheers in my everyday vocabulary, so I would try to use it on cashiers or bartenders, just say cheers when they hand me my card back or my drink or whatever, but I would always say it really quietly because I thought it sounds weird. I think that it sounds weird in an American accent to say cheers as thanks. It just only sounds right in a British accent to me, but I still tried. I tried hard to use that one, but I never got really confident in using it. And now that I'm back in America, I feel kind of cheesy saying that, so oh well. To be fair, this is kind of similar to can't be bothered in that I don't think there's a good equivalent in American English. I think you could say on the other hand, or you could say maybe like playing devil's advocate depending on the context, but I just love again how short and sweet it is, to be fair, and it's just very clear what you're trying to say instead of being more wordy. Exam and essay. I just put these together because they have to do with school or uni. In the States, I would only say test, or actually I would break those tests down into midterm or final or quiz. Just all the different kinds of tests have different names, but it seems like in the UK they're all just called exams, and I think one reason is because over there, a lot of times for your classes, you just have one final exam at the end of the semester or at the end of the year even, whereas in the States you tend to have more tests in between, so that's why I would differentiate between them. And then in terms of essay, I would always say paper in the States. I think I used essay back in like middle school and high school, when you learn about the 5-paragraph essay. So yeah, I stopped using essay, and then when I went back to the UK, I only used essay and exam. Chips. This is another thing like toilet where you just have to start using it because I mean it's easier because usually you're ordering from a menu, so you could just say the chips and you won't get too confused about saying that, and you're not going to ever order fish and fries, it's always fish and chips. So I really got conditioned into visualizing fries or like wedges when I hear chips, to the point that here when I saw on a menu, I saw chips on a menu, which is weird because usually At a restaurant, you don't see chips on a menu, but at this restaurant, it was chips as in crisps, like potato chips. And I instantly visualized fries. So I think chips is one that you would really quickly start using if you live in the UK, and same with crisps. Although crisps is, again, it's so hard to say. Like asked, this is like total side note. I learned that in British English, you pronounce this word as sixth, but I would pronounce it as sixth. So I don't know, lift. I didn't use this one that often. I would pretty evenly change between saying lift and elevator. It really just depended on how lazy I was feeling. And I mostly used it to talk about how the elevator or lift in my building had been broken. That was really like a grab bag. I would sometimes say lift, sometimes say elevator. I would never say loo though for toilet, because I can get away with saying toilet because we say that word in American English, but we don't say loo, so I think I would just sound stupid. But lift, it's 1 syllable versus elevator 4 syllables, so it just makes sense to say it. Saws. It sounds so bad with my American accent. I use this a lot in text because it's just like a more cheeky way to say sorry. It's very informal, so I don't think you would ever say it in like an interview. Like, no. Yeah, it's just a fun word to say with friends, and it has a Z in it. It's just short. Yeah, I like it. And last but not least, these X's. They're kisses. It's like XO. That's obviously, you don't say these out loud. This is done in text form, and it's just nice to add a little something at the end of your texts. I also would try not to use too many exclamation marks, because I think Americans have this stereotype of being very enthusiastic and friendly and excited, and to the point where it seems kind of fake to non-Americans. So to offset that, I would use like X's instead, because I don't want to be too serious and just end with a period or like use too many emojis. So if you want to be like friendly and casual but not too overly excited, then just adding like an X or 2 or 3 or whatever, like way more if you're feeling way more playful. Yeah, it's fun to do, so that's why I started using those. Anyway, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I don't know, I could talk for a long time about the differences between American English and British English, but I thought I would just start with the words that I actually ended up using. But let me know if you would like to see more videos about this and about British or London culture, and I will see what I come up with. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!